Alright, Mikey. And Mikey has a really interesting team with Scizor, Breloom, Toxicroak, Mismagius, Poltegeist, and the Ceruledge. So a lot of... I definitely feel a lot of very anti-Enamorous. We're not going to be using Enamorous here. Zapdos is kind of weird too. I like Garganacl a lot, despite the fact that there's a lot of Pokemon it would be weak against, mainly the Breloom, Scizor, and Toxicroak, but does a really great job when it tears, right? So we need to be mindful of that. Breloom also makes it a little bit harder for Gastrodon as well. Regieleki honestly looks pretty strong here. I don't mind Grim, because Regieleki could help out Zapdos. The challenge with Zapdos is just... Yeah, I actually don't have many Fire offense, which kind of stinks. Actually, I have Enamorous, which is interesting. It's just, I don't have Quick Guard, right? So that would be the way to deal with it. I could Fire Terra Enamorous. I feel like that might be it. I might need a Fire Terra Enamorous to survive a hit, and then go from there. I guess the other question is, how do I deal with... What do I lead with? Okay, we're taking too much time. We'll go with Grim, Enamorous, Garganacl, Gastrodon. Not the best, but, you know, we can find ways to mitigate and go through all of this. We can figure it out. And Toxicroak also has dry skin for the most part, so that can also help us out too. But 2, getting super effective attack, technically based on its ability. But yeah, this is very interesting. So we're going to have Poltegeist and Mismagius. Okay, versus Grim and Enamorous. I'm okay with this lead for now. I'm trying to think, what would the opponent want to do? Double Ghost is interesting. I definitely like to set up Light Screen. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to fire off this Dazzling Gleam. Let's just see what damage we can do here. If the opponent switches out to Scizor, so be it. Okay, so it's going to set up its own weak armor and weakness policy. That's interesting. I guess the question you have to ask yourself, though, is it enough to knock out Grimmsnarl? I set up Light Screen, right? Yeah, Scary Face, Poltegeist. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, LazyCon. You got it exactly right. I had that already planned. We definitely going to Scary Face it. But yeah, great to see you in the chat. How you doing, by the way? But yeah, we're going to fire off this Dazzling Gleam. Does a decent amount of damage. And then, yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to Scary Face Poltegeist. Or I could Scary Face my own Enamorous. But most likely Enamorous is not going to survive this turn. So, yeah, I don't mind doing it that way. But you know what? I could have thought about protecting. I think that would have been a better choice here. Poltegeist isn't going to do too much on Grimmsnarl. But I do like the idea of Shadow Snake. I wonder if Eviolite Misdreavus could also play that way. We're actually going to see Strength Sap. Yeah. I kind of looked at the Juggler a little bit too much here. That would have been an opportunity to have better set my... Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's nasty. I could have done a much better job in calling that out. Yeah, doing all right. Doing all right. Let's see what we can do here to win this battle, though. I think Spirit Breaking into Poltegeist is fine. I don't know what my opponent wants to do. They're probably going to keep on using Strength Sap, right? So, I don't mind firing off a... I'll fire it off into Mismagius. I do like this idea. I might have to look into Misdreavus Poltegeist and how that kind of plays together. Because that was kind of cool, the weak armor... Because Ceruledge also kind of plays with that too, right? You do weak armor and then... weakness policy, or you can do weak armor with Armor Rouge as well in the same thing. But Poltegeist is pretty interesting in the sense that it does a really great job of... Alright, so we're going to get the Shadow Ball on Garganacl. Luckily being Purifying Salt... Oh, I take that like a champ. So we're going to fire off the Spirit Break. That's going to be nice. Does a decent amount already, so that's good. Weak Armor pumps up again, but at this point, I don't really care about the speed. And then we're going to go ahead and fire off Salt Cure here. Okay, so Mismagius is slowly but surely taking Salt Cure damage. One thing I don't want to run into is having Garganacl taunted immediately. So I'm trying to think. If I was my opponent, yeah, and I can easily see taunt plus strength sap to kind of get your HP back. So we definitely want to hit this Poltergeist, and I don't mind using protect at this point. Oh yeah, and the weak armor also probably helped out with that defense pull too. So I wonder what Miss Magius would want to do. It might try to use taunt again. But yeah, I don't mind bringing out Grimmsnarl, bringing it back in, and really relying on that end. Okay, so Garganacl protects. Are we going to see a taunt coming from Miss Magius? Alright, so Strength Sap, unfortunately, is coming to Grimmsnarl. So Grimmsnarl is at -2 attack, and Poltergeist, does it get all of its HP or back or some of it? It gets all of its HP back. Yeah, there's that taunt, like we were talking about. But we get to keep on lowering Poltergeist's special attack, which is nice. I think one of the challenges here... Yeah, again, the speed means nothing. And we get that Salt Cure still. Okay. So Salt Cure is doing its work. It's about to knock out Miss Magius, which is good. But I want to time these KOs. So I'm getting these KOs at the right time. So I'm going to double target using both Salt Cure and using Spirit Break this time around. Luckily, the offensive pressure from the opponent is relatively weak. So hopefully we can capitalize on that and get these knockouts shortly. Probably going to have to deal with a taunt. But as long as the opponent doesn't knock out a Pokemon, I can switch something in and then bring Garganacl back, which will be very helpful. So Miss Magius is actually going to withdraw. Okay, Miss Magius realizing, hey, those taunts are going to be important. We're actually going to get Scizor coming out. So here's the interesting thing. If I actually get the Salt Cure out done at the right time, ooh, Stored Power coming in and Garganacl doesn't do anything. Thanks to all those drops. Spirit Break will be enough to knock out Poltergeist. This is huge. By the way, this is a great turn. Spirit Break is enough to knock out Poltergeist. And then I get to fire off this Salt Cure. Look at that. Bop. And that, my friends, is going to do a significant amount to this Scizor, allowing me to be able to just take in... yeah, just... Ooh, look at that HP that we're taking away from Scizor. So, looking great. Grimmsnarl takes off his taunt as well, which is perfect for me to fire off a Reflect, getting that defense back up. And we're going to actually see Ceruledge. Now, one thing to note, the opponent has not Terrored quite yet, so we need to be mindful of that. I'm down to hit with Reflect. I'm trying to think, what was Ceruledge? Actually, there is, Gastrodon's Terror does not really help us out as much. So I definitely feel confident going for the Salt Cure on Ceruledge as well. Alright, so it looks like the opponent's going to Terra. Curious to see what Pokemon they're going to Terra. Probably Ceruledge. Is it going to be Grass Terra? Okay. Oh, actually, this is not great. If you know Terra Blast, then we're in trouble. Because I Terra'd Water. But let's see what we can do here. Luckily enough, offensively, I think Grimmsnarl is going to be helpful. The Water Terra is going to be nice to deal with Scizor, but it's not enough for a KO, which is good. We get to fire off this Reflect, but I got to deal with this Terra Blast probably coming my way, right? Nope, I just deal with the Bulk Up for now. Well, but that could be a Terra Blast, because there could be Bulk Up Terra Blast, Bitter Blade, and like a Shadow Sneak or something. Yeah, most likely too. I definitely can see that. I mean, obviously for like the fire typing, but it's not surprising to see Ceruledge have Terra Blast. So we do need to be mindful of that and make sure that we're able to capitalize on that well. So Grimmsnarl most likely is probably going to get knocked out next turn. If not, then I'm going to fire off this Spirit Break on the Ceruledge, try to slow it down a little bit. And then I'm going to hit this recover button with Garganacl. So here comes Scizor with the Bullet Punch. It's enough for a KO, figured as much. But what we want to do here is try to outlast this Ceruledge here. So yeah, Ceruledge firing off that Terra Blast. I figured we would have to eat something like that. But we can take at least one. Whew, that was a lot. Not great. But yeah, so both offensive and a defensive tool. And unfortunately, because we committed Water Terra, It's going to make it a lot harder for a Gastrodon to win this one. Dang. I think if I replayed this one, yeah, probably not Terra immediately, and then just kind of like, okay, Scissor's not as big of a deal here. But Scissor's going to get knocked out by this. Yeah, the Salt Cure really helped out. Scissor's going to get, if Scissor doesn't switch out, it's going to get knocked out, right? So, I think the one challenge is that, yeah, Cerulege does not have any incentive not to hit Terra Blast on Gastrodon. But because we know that, is there a world that Cerulege wouldn't target Gastrodon? And we get to knock it out. That could be a possibility. Cerulege thinks, hey, you know what? You're in this predicament, you're going to protect. And we're not going to protect. And instead we'll get Recover off. So Cerulege goes for the Terra Blast. Who are you going after? Yeah, I mean, it seemed obvious. There's no incentive, there's no reason why you shouldn't. So Gastrodon is going to get knocked out here. And Scizor is going to use U-turn? Yeah. Alright, so protecting could have helped. We would have been able to get a KO on something earlier. But, yeah. I think one of the challenges here was just not recognizing the late game Cerulege Terra. And that definitely put us in a bind here. So we get to fire up this Recover, but really, it's going to be tough because... Okay, so we get all of our HP back. Cerulege is at half HP. Light Screen's over, but I got Reflect, which is the main thing here. Cerulege has not revealed its item yet. I don't know what it would be. Could be a berry. Oh man, I'm not a big fan of that. I think for now... Oh, you're good, man. No worries at all. We may have 3 battles so far. I think this one's going to be a loss. We had one guy cancel after got 1 knockout, but then the other 2 have been pretty tough. So we're going to get Taunt here. But I'm not really worried about Mismagius as much. And then we're going to get Bitter Blade. Okay, interesting. Probably a smart idea there. Recover as much HP as possible. Yeah, but... Whew, this is going to be tough. Mismagius obviously has no reason not to clit Taunt. But we're going to hopefully... The Salt Cure... Hey, no worries at all. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And we're going to get Bitter Blade, actually. That might be our saving grace here. It's not very effective. Hopefully it doesn't heal up too much. But if we fight... Ooh, that actually did heal up a significant amount. This Cerulege is trying its hardest not to get knocked out with the Salt Cures. But actually it's not bad because just that little bit of healing might be enough for Cerulege to survive. Get that HP down. But at this point, it's probably going to get close to a knockout here. So, yeah, our best bet is fire off this Salt Cure, and hopefully we can survive. But that Terra Blast is coming in strong, man. Especially with that bulk up. Yeah, I don't know, actually, what Cerulege would want to do at this point. I mean, because, like, Mismagius already taunted, right? So I don't know what Mismagius would do to... Okay, yeah, Shadow Sneak is just the smallest amount of chip damage possible. It's barely anything. Okay, that's very interesting. Because if we get, like, some good damage roll here... Is my opponent about to throw away the game? It's at +2. I know that they're trying to, like, outpower through Reflect. I can't Protect, or else that would be the move. Ah, it's just one more turn of Taunt. Yeah, we wanna Salt Cure now, but I definitely can see Bitter Blade happening. They had... Oh, yeah, duh! I totally forgot! I didn't knock out Poltegeist yet. Okay. I don't care, really. But here's the thing, though. Yeah, you damaged my... Sure, okay, you sacrificed Scizor. You damaged my, You outlasted my Reflect, right? We saw that, right? How much damage it did through the Reflect. But it had a bulk up through that Reflect. It's no longer in Reflect KO range, right? So, really, we know bulk up, we know Bitter Blade, we know Terra Blast. At this point, I feel confident that I could survive one attack from Cerulege and then get the knockout. Yeah, that just felt weird. okay, yeah, you're gonna taunt. I figured as much. There's no point in, because I'm gonna have to eat up this Terra Blast. It's gonna be strong, but you got rid of your boost, and probably Clear Amulet is the item. Yeah, I win. Yeah, that was terrible. I think the opponent 100% threw this game away, and I feel really bad for them. But yeah, it was and that was the thing. I think they were thinking about I needed to stall out Reflect, not realizing that what really kept them in the game were those bulk up boosts, right? Because that +2 Terra Blast in Reflect worth over the other attacks. So now Miss Magius does not have the firepower, and I get to win this one. So totally forgot they had Cicero in the back. I thought it was just Roulette. Actually, the switch hurt them the most. But yeah, we get a win. Garganackle 3-0. Yo, he takes them all down. That was awesome. Yeah, and I was already doing like post-game analysis. Oh, I could have won here. I did a bad job here. But yeah, I think it really boiled down to the Bitter Blades weren't, or the Terra Blast and Bulk Ups, right? They were really strong, and I think that they could have better invested in that. Yeah, Shuilich definitely was the Pokemon that they needed, but I think the fact that they survived that turn, that last turn where they were at +2, that would have been the shot to say, hey, you know what? You're still taunted. You can't protect. I'm going to fire off and try to get this final Terra Blast on you. And I think that definitely would have helped out there. But